I started to lose my eyesight to glaucoma when I was 28 years old. At the time, I thought I would not be able to do what I loved the most, being an architect. I felt so unproductive, and my self-esteem plummeted. When I accepted that I was blind already, and I started to join organizations of persons with disabilities, what I saw there was that they had difficulty really moving about the built environment, because we'll have a venue that had about 2 flights of stairs, so they had to carry persons on wheelchairs. Sometimes they'll billet them or put them in rooms on the 2nd floor when there are no elevators. There was one architect that I talked to when I was giving talks. He had a polio. So he told me, Jim, you make me drive 100 kilometers and I can do it. But don't make me walk 100 meters. Because every time I step on a shorter leg, it hurts. So these are the things that I never really realized when I was practicing. Because my focus was always the design, how the flow of the circulation. But there is this factor, a sector of persons in our society that needs to have these access facilities.
Nung una pa talaga, tinatago ang mga persons with disabilities. Parents would keep their children with disabilities in the house because they would be branded as sinful. Disability was once looked upon as a curse.
I need wheelchair. Kanang kuan leg. Artificially. Heavy to carry.
Persons with disabilities, they couldn't get a ride going to the venue, the seminar. You remember that?
Yeah, always naman kasi ang problem palagi ng PWD sa really transportation mobility.
For persons with disabilities, partial compliance is no compliance at all. Ramps, steep ramps without grab bars, that is no compliance at all. Bathrooms, wide bathrooms with no grab bars is no compliance at all. Because anything that is interpreted wrongly will only make life so much harder for us. Imagine that my clothes were still down. Where do I hold on to now? Nothing for me to hang on to. Very hard. I am putting stress on my wrist, on my elbow, and on my shoulders, which is bad for those with osteoarthritis. See? Where do I hang on to? With a bar here or a bar there, it would have been much easier. That is why we are really pushing for full compliance of BP 344, and we would appreciate it if universal design will also be implemented.
Attitudes, sometimes it's not only the infrastructure or the built environments that's at fault. It's also the attitude of the people. It's more of attitudinal barriers that these things do not materialize because some people still have closed minds regarding helping the sector with disabilities.
Minsan nga, pumunta ako dyan sa may sentro mismo sa Cagayan de Oro. May mga rampa nga sana, priority sana ang dumaan yung mga may kapansanan. Pero minsan, naghihintay pa kami kung maubos na yung mga walang kapansanan kasi sila ang umuuna.
As a person with disability, he will never be able to access services or workplaces or entertainments because of the built environment that are not accessible. What's important is to provide those facilities in built environment so that this becomes the access, the entry point of persons with disabilities to be able to avail of those services, to be able to work and get back to the workforce and become independent and productive members really of their country.
Batas Pambansa bilang 344 or the Philippine Accessibility Law was enacted in 1983 to enhance the mobility of persons with disabilities. Until now, however, only about 30 to 35% of the provisions are complied with, moving selfless advocates as Adela Cono and the Accessibility Monitoring Committee of Cebu, architects Jaime Silva and Armand Eustaquio of the United Architects of the Philippines, to advocate for the implementation of its rules and regulations through access talk shops and lectures to various groups and stakeholders. UAP with a membership of more than 20,000 architects, focuses on barrier-free environment through its Committee on Accessibility. Between 2002 and 2004, 5 officers from the National Council on Disability Affairs and architects Jaime Silva and Armando Eustaquio from UAP participated in the Non-Handicapping Environment Training at the Asia-Pacific Development Center on Disability to learn about barrier-free built environment and transportation from an international perspective.
The NHA training that I had that was sponsored by APCD gave an impact in the way I was promoting non-handicapping environment for persons with disabilities. You know, there I learned about networking with different persons involved in the promotion of non-handicapping environment. I also learned there to collaborate and to partner with different line agencies, whether from government or whether from non-government organizations, and even organizations of persons with disabilities. I also learned there to be able to audit, not only give lectures on the standards, but also audit the place and hands-on learning and give recommendations. I also learned there that I'm not alone in what I'm doing, but in Asia-Pacific region, there are a lot of leaders also moving forward to have a non-handicapping environment for persons with disabilities.
Actually, I didn't know about the APCD training until Jimmy gave me a call to tell me that APCD was giving non-handicapping environments training for the ASEAN region. And he helped, so to speak, fast-track the process of getting into the seminar.
After the training, architects Jaime Silva and Armando Eustaquio and other ex-APCD participants continued advocating non-handicapping environment through BP 344 implementation in the urban areas, incorporating access audits to their access talk shops. The participants were architects, engineers, interior designers, local government officials, rehabilitation professionals, those in the business sector, banking institutions, allied medical profession, construction, production, those in the Department of Public Works and Highways, Department of Transportation and Communications, non-government organizations in Manila and in the provinces.
I'm the cited one. I could see the violations. I could see, even to some degree, the buildings had complied. But Jimmy, as an architect and as a person with disability himself, is very effective.
Probably we complement each other because I cannot see that the standards and the measurements is all fed to me by Arman. Kasi kala nila palagi, architect, bulag, that I'm still in design.
Oh.
So that intrigues them, ano? Kaya pag kinukumbida tayo,
Napapaisip sila.
Papaisip sila, may bulag. And then, kala nila, design. No, I mean property management already.
Saka, they're always amazed na naka-mainstream ka.
Hindi nila alam si Arman pa yung mata ko.
In 2004, an APCD mission came to the Philippines to follow up on the non-handicapping environment promotion in the country. Impressed by the efforts exerted by the former APCD participants, the Philippines was selected as one of APCD's best case studies as a country which successfully promotes a barrier-free society after the non-handicapping environment trainings. Maximizing their available resources, Access Talk Shop with Access Audit were organized more than 80 times from 2004 to 2006. However, as the advocates hop around the Philippine regions, miles away from the urban centers,
We found that implementation is very lacking, it's very lax, and very much wanting. We still had a lot of work to do in terms of information dissemination to make known to them the importance of accessibility to law and implementing it.
to further boost and strengthen the momentum of non-handicapping environment, NCDA, UAP, APCD with JICA conducted the first national training of trainers on the promotion of non-handicapping environment for persons with disabilities in 2005 and the National Consultative Workshop on the non-handicapping environment for persons with disabilities in 2006. The resource persons were mobilized by APCD. The first NHE workshop in a rural area was organized by the Provincial Federation of PWDs of Nueva Vizcaya to raise awareness about the need of non-handicapping environment from the perspective of rural development. NCDA, APCD, JICA, and architects Jaime Silva and Armando Eustaquio were invited to share their passion and commitment to NHE. As a result of these collaborative efforts, APCD facilitated a dialogue among Department of Social Welfare and Development, NCDA, JICA Philippines, and UAP, where a mutual understanding was developed to institutionalize non-handicapping environment in the rural areas.
When I was writing the first draft of the proposal, I was thinking about the Filipinos with disabilities in the rural areas. So it's a vision for us to make Filipinos with disabilities in the rural areas be empowered through making the environment open to them or accessible to them.
On September 24, 2008, the record of discussions for the project on the creation of a non-handicapping environment for persons with disabilities in the rural areas of Opol in Misamis Oriental and New Lucena in Iloilo was finally signed between NCDA as the lead agency for implementation and JICA Philippines for technical support.
NHE project now would send the right signal to the local government units to carry out their responsibility to this sector which they have set aside for so long. This is your time to shine. This is your time to be counted as part of community building, as part of nation building. This is your time to prove that life does not stop at your disability.
Sana hindi lang ito mangyari sa aming lungsod sa Upol, kung hindi sa lahat ng mga munisipyo o sa kaya sa buong mundo sana mangyari ang ganitong programa at lumabas naman ang mga taong dapat lumabas kung sino mga tatago na nahiya sa kanilang mga kapansanan.
Every person has the right to live the Filipino dream. And this is the dream to become independent and productive. Every person and every citizen of this country has the right to be accommodated, to be included, and to be part of the Philippine-built environment. As Filipinos, this is our civil rights. This is our karapatan. But because of the accessibility law, this becomes more the rights of Filipinos with disabilities.